My 25F boyfriend's 27 meters mother pushed me to the ground when she was quite drunk. I feel awkward about it. Edit, thanks for all the replies. Just to let you know, I got knee MRI scan results just then from my doctor. I have partially torn meniscus, sprained MCL, bone marrow edema, and they can't confirm about my ACL as I have surgical sutures, bolts there, and they couldn't see my ligament properly. So very possible I've re-torn my ACL. Also frown lots of damage and possibly another surgery. Too long didn't read. BF's mother shoved me to the ground when drunk, although it was unprovoked by me. Apparently she can get aggressive when drunk, but I never thought it would be at me. I was with my boyfriend's family and everyone was quite drunk. My boyfriend, 27 meters, and his younger brother were wrestling inside, and it was really annoying the mom, and she was starting to get angry even though they were just having fun. She unsuccessfully broke them up, which would have annoyed her more, especially being in a drunken state. Anyway, I was outside chilling by myself as I was resting my knee that I hurt that day. I had ACL surgery a few years ago and I had twisted it that day, so I was in pain. Basically the mother stormed out, and she was going to storm out onto the street in the middle of the night. I have a pretty good relationship with her, so I stood up and put my arm out to talk to her and get her to calm down, and she fully shoved me to the ground and stormed out of the gate. My knee gave way like it did earlier and I was in instant pain. One of the brother's friends helped me off the ground and said he will go and find her. The next day my knee was so swollen, like, can't even locate the kneecap swollen. The mother did apologize and I said it was fine because I didn't want to start drama, but I was quite shocked and a bit hurt by the situation. When I told my boyfriend, he said, well, did you get in her way? He didn't even seem to care and almost instantly blamed me. I should note he also has a temper when he drinks. I'm not happy about the situation and I can almost look past being shoved to the ground, but my boyfriend wasn't concerned at all and it seems like it's normal behavior. Now we had a fight about it and I asked him to ask his mom to please just not do it again. After prompting, he did talk to her and he explained to her that I'm more sensitive than them and to not push me over again. My boyfriend said she looked hurt that she has caused an issue with us. Do you think I am overreacting? I was so shocked by the sudden aggression towards me. She has never done that before. She is usually really nice and welcoming towards me and always makes an effort on my birthday and Christmas. She is very generous towards me. Do you think I should just keep my distance? Or maybe it was just a once-off? Now that it was brought up to the mom, I feel awkward. Is there any coming back from this weird situation? It's horrible what she did, and it's horrible your boyfriend wasn't horrified. It sounds like this behavior is standard in his family, so he doesn't understand that it's particularly bad, thus the she's sensitive explanation. Super not okay. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy starts laying hands on you eventually with his attitude, anger issues and alcohol dependence. So many red flags. This is what I'm worried about. When I asked him to talk to his mom for me, we got in a fight because they have been generous and that I'm overreacting and she didn't mean it. The fight ended up with him calling me a piece of shit and a loser for holding my ground on the issue. Sigh frown. Do you think I should just keep my distance? Yes, permanently. You are dating an asshole, who belongs to a family of assholes. Is your boyfriend's last name, Asshat? The fact that he doesn't care that his mom knocked you over in her drunken state speaks volumes. Use this time to examine your life. Figure out why you think so little of yourself that waste time on this douche canoe. You deserve better. Dude, go see a doctor about your knee. That level of swollen is bad news. Go to the emergency room now. As far as the violence, an apology is not sufficient, and the fact that he dismissed your pain and sided with her is extremely bad and a huge red flag. I know you love him and everything, but being drunk is no excuse, and violence seems to be running in his family, so, seriously, get out of this relationship before it becomes life-threatening to you. Please, please get out. None of this is okay. Thank you. I have got an MRI scan last week and waiting on results. Hopefully all good. I am seriously considering considering leaving the relationship because my boyfriend also is showing signs of alcohol dependence, and it's worrying that he thinks I'm being a baby about the whole thing when all I wanted was for him to ask his mum not to do it again. Frown. That's a pretty effed up family. Not sure I'd want to buy into that. The subject of my 26 meters work makes my GF 25F very angry, creates a very tense environment. I'm finishing up my PhD in healthcare ethics. I have about 2 years left. I was picked up to work with a local hospital and a group within my state legislature to help combat the opioid crisis. My research was primarily on public health problems, so this role suited me nicely and I really enjoy the work I do. Most of it centered more closely around relief and prevention programs as well as pharmaceutical and prescription regulations. My girlfriend's mother died of a heroin overdose when she was 11 years old, and her father, also a drug addict, also then left her, so she was raised by her grandparents, who luckily were wonderful. My girlfriend hates that I currently work on this problem from the pharmaceutical and provider side, and is especially angry that some of my work seems sympathetic to those who have become addicted due to irresponsible prescriptions. Because of her past, and the fact her parents started spontaneously and not from prescriptions, to the best of her knowledge, she vehemently disagrees with attacking this problem from the provider side, and gets angry when she reads my papers or proposals that focus on those topics. She'll often yell and storm out of the room that I've never lived with people who used drugs and I don't understand, and that a lot of them are just assholes and went and started using drugs, they weren't victims of prescriptions. But it's my job, and as a grad student, I'm not turning down funding and the ability to work during my PhD in addition to my stipend. Most additional sources of income aren't allowed while receiving a PhD stipend from my school. I always try to be understanding, and reassure her, and explain I'm not trying to destroy personal responsibility or anything like that. Edit 1. We've been dating for 4 years. We met when I was just finishing up undergrad. It's only been within the past 4 months that I've started really focusing on opioid-related health issues. Before that it was just one of many things I worked on. Too long didn't read. My work involves creating increased prescribing accountability to combat the opioid crisis. My girlfriend's experiences have shown her the problem is with the addicts, creates friction. Sounds like it's time to stop letting her read your proposals, find a place that's soundproof or outside for Zoom, and become as boring as you can when she asks about work. What did you do today? A. Mostly meetings. Anything interesting in the news? You've tried engaging her in good faith, which hasn't helped, so the logical next step is a low information diet. But, real talk, 2 years is a long time to spend playing defense with your own partner's failure to work on her trauma. And as understanding as you are of where her behavior is coming from, the behavior still isn't okay. Yelling at you, attacking your work day in and day out, not cool. She needs to get a handle on that shit if you're going to make it through this together. Since he's giving presentations, not to mention she is the one who's flying off the handle in response to these Zoom calls, I think she needs to be the one willing to put on some headphones or head outside while they're happening. I mean, relationship aside, statistically your girlfriend, it's wrong. Her life experiences have completely biased her to the subject. Barring therapy on her part, it's probably unlikely she'll ever see this subject in any other light. That being said, it's not your professional job to appease your girlfriend. You're not doing anything unethical, and if anything could help a lot of people. If she can't see the value of your work, that's her problem, not yours. Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to explain data versus anecdote. That was an unpleasant evening, haha. Edit 2. If this helps at all, the anger really only flares up immediately following her having to hear about my work, Zoom presentations, or reading something I've written. Some of it is public access. Like an hour of her being incredibly upset, and then 2 days of all good no issues until I have another meeting where I have to speak again. In the wise words of Chidi Anagonye, okay, but that's worse. You do get how that's worse, right? No, it does not help at all. Your girl needs therapy. You deserve a safe home and work environment. Yeah, this is gonna create a conditioned response in op. He's already tiptoeing around his GF with work that he has to do, and is now afraid to share what he's doing with his partner. That's sad. She's destroying their relationship with her issues little by little. This isn't something to ignore or gloss over for the time being, and it will get better by the time the pandemic is less serious. This is something that has lingered, and will linger, until it's dealt with properly. That means the girlfriend needs to change, not up. Sigh. What a terrible situation. I feel bad for her, and of course you for not being able to share the good work you do with your partner at all. Therapy obviously helps. The classic forgiving them helps you is pretty damn real. Holla mentally unstable father problems, and all that. But aside from all that, for someone actively suffering, I don't think there is something you can say. Statistics, factual correlations and causation proofs, they don't mean anything because her anger and feelings are too personal. I wish I had advice, but I feel like other than her getting therapy, you just won't by yourself get her to a point where she'll agree with your work. You'll just need to not share it with her. My 18M girlfriend, 18F, won't stop talking about my best friend and I don't know what to do about it. So my girlfriend and I have been together for about 6 months but were friends before that, which is how she met one of my best friends and became really close with him a couple months ago. However, she has not stopped mentioning said friend since she became friends with him. We would be hanging out and she would bring up, "Why don't you invite friend right now?" or something similar to that. It even goes so far as to when we are making out or when things are getting intimate, she would say something along the lines of me performing fellatio on said friend in front of her in a jokingly manner, but still fucking gross. Could keep everything so far to myself and pin it down to teenage nervousness and jealousy, as this is my first serious relationship, but I couldn't deal with her today when she compared me to my best friend when she said, "Why can't you be cute like friend A?" I didn't reply to her snap as I was trying to gather my emotions and try to understand why I didn't like that comment, even though she said it as a joke and even pointed out afterwards it was a joke. But she continued on to say, "You know who's making me really happy right now? Friend A." I still haven't replied to her yet and I'm not sure if I want to confront her about it because she seems really happy talking to this friend. I know my boy doesn't have feelings for her, but I can't help feeling insecure about it, so I'm wondering if the best course of action would be to leave it and let it play out or confront her about it. I don't want to be one of the men who restrict who she talks to, as I don't want her to feel as if I'm controlling her. I know this is a real teenage and immature problem compared to the rest of the post on this sublol, but I don't really want to trouble my friends over this tiny problem, especially said best friend. Too long didn't read. Girlfriend brings up my best friend and compares me to him a lot. Not sure whether I should confront her about it. Your girlfriend either A, is crushing on your best friend, or B, is already cheating on you with him. Please respect yourself enough to dump her. This or she's one of those types of people that likes the drama and jealousy. Either way, she's super toxic and you need to remove her from your life. Every time she insists it's a joke, say you don't get it and ask her that. Explain how it's funny, because she won't be able to explain how it's funny and not just hurtful. Look, this is your first relationship and you should learn things from it so that you go into your next relationship a better version of yourself. What you've learned from this relationship is that if someone actually cared for you, they wouldn't compare you to anyone else and make you feel bad. So dump her and be thankful that you've learned not to accept this behavior from anyone or inflict this behavior on anyone. You will absolutely find someone better this way.